Well, I'm really thrilled that the second big event that we've been doing with ESPN is here in Los Angeles and features these great fighters. As you've been reading, ESPN has jumped into the sport of boxing at the top level. Thanks to ESPN, millions and millions of people here in the United States saw the welterweight championship match on July 1st between Manny Pacquiao and Jeff Horn. And now millions of people will be tuning in to ESPN on Saturday, August 5, to see these great fighters. Marriaga, you know, is a tremendous warrior, always gives 100%, and I'm a little prejudiced, but the guy to my right, Vasyl Lomachenko, is the greatest fighter that I've seen since Muhammad Ali, and millions of people will get the opportunity to see him this Saturday night. And Ray Beltran and Brian Vasquez, two great lightweights. You know Ray's story. He was Manny Pacquiao's sparring partner, and now Steve Kim was telling me he's probably the best lightweight fighter in the world. He'll be showing what he's made of on Saturday night, and I want to welcome to professional boxing Michaela, a U.S. Olympian. You know, Top Rank hasn't done women boxing for many years. Hopefully, with Michaela, this will be a breakthrough, and we'll be seeing women's boxing on our cards, so that the vast ESPN audience will be able to see it. The two televised fights will be televised starting at 10 p.m. in the East, 7 p.m. Here in California on ESPN. But all of the bouts on the program will be streamed live on the ESPN app. So thank you very much, Christina.
Perfect. As Bob mentioned, we have some great young talent on the ESPN app. Starting at 4 p.m. Pacific, those fights will be streamed, including Andy Vences, Michaela Mayer, as we mentioned, who we'll talk to momentarily, Esquiva Falco, Eric De Leon, and another fighter that is here today, Maxim Dadashev. Hi Maxim, how are you? He'll be available for interviews as well. He'll be fighting on the ESPN app just before we get ready to get started on the telecast. Before we get to the interview Q&A portion, I'd like to introduce WBO President Francisco Paco Valcarcel. He'd like to make a special presentation before we continue. Paco?
Thank you, Christina. Bob, afternoon? Yeah. Good afternoon, all the fighters, my amigo Tiquillo, Ray, Vasyl, pleasure. We have a special presentation for this champion. You know, Vasyl Lomachenko, like Bob said, is you know, the jewel of the crown of Top Rank now, and he has been beating big names. He beat 3 or 4 world champions. Martinez, Sosa, Rosso. He beat everybody. Salido is there. He was close. And he has been with 7 or 8 fights. He has been champion in 2 divisions and he's ready to move up to 135. He can make history. And we would like to recognize him, Richard, because we designate Vasyl super champion for privilege. We don't have anybody behind him. He's just one in the division. We would like to present this beautiful belt to him. 1 second.
I like it. It's before the fight.
Nobody thinks that. That's
Here, closer for a picture.
Good luck. Good luck. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Papa.
Jeff over here. Come on.
He's just gonna hold it for him. All right. All right, we're gonna ask some questions now to the fighters. I'll start with you, Michaela. Like Bob said, welcome to Top Rank. We're super excited to have you. Is your mic on? All right, good. You'll be making your pro debut on the undercard on Saturday night here in your hometown of Los Angeles. How excited are you to be able to perform here at home and make your pro debut here in front of friends and family?
Yeah, definitely. This is a great feeling. I've been away training for the Olympics for 5 years now. Away from LA, I've been training a little longer than that, but away from home. So it feels good to be back and actually have friends and family who can come and watch me live and in person, because most of them can't up and travel to Bulgaria and Poland and all these places that we go.
Right, speaking of your amateur career, at 27, you've had an extensive amateur career. How has your experience with USA Boxing and your competition in national tournaments helped prepare you for this moment?
I've gained so much experience traveling with Team USA. It was the highlight of my life, and it was a really hard decision to leave that, because I don't feel like I got my medal, and I want to go back to Tokyo and get my Olympic gold. But I'm happy to be here, and I feel that all the different styles that I had to face in the amateurs, going in there, I mean, put us in a bracket, we fight 4 or 5 times in 1 week. It's experience you can't get anywhere else, so I definitely plan on taking the knowledge that I've gained in the amateurs and bringing it into the pros.
Being that you were a hot commodity when you did make the decision to turn pro, why was Top Rank the place for you?
Okay, well, I spoke to a lot of different boxing promoters, because obviously it's been almost a year since the Olympics, so I've been thinking about this for a while, but I spoke to some promoters, and I really didn't feel like they saw the vision of what I could help do for women's boxing. They kind of just want to put me in the back burner, like, oh, we can try and do this, try and do that. And when I sat down with Todd DeBuff and Top Rank, they just really made me feel like they saw the vision, they believed in what I could do, they supported women's boxing, and so I was like, okay, if I have the support of the best promotion behind me, then I'm ready to do this.
Bob, as you mentioned, it's been some years since Top Rank has had a woman, a female fighter. Do you see sky as the limit for Michaela, and not only inside the ring, but with her marketability outside of the ring? You still have your mic?
Yeah, I really think that she has the goods, that she will be able to help us bring women boxing to the fore. I, really want to acknowledge the debt that we owe to UFC, because they took this Ronda Rousey and they made her into a tremendous star. She ended up to be the biggest pay-per-view star that they had. And if they could do it with Ronda Rousey, we believe we can do it with Michaela.
7,000 or 12.
I'm going to leave it on that note. I don't know what else more than I can say that's better than what Bob said. We'll now get to our televised portion of the fight. Opening the fight will be Ray Beltran against Brian Vasquez. And Brian, we'll start with you. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to have Gardy Lopez translate for us.
Okay. Bueno, primero que todo...
Sí.
Sorry.
Está bien.
Primero que todo, muchísimas gracias por tenerme hoy acá, por la oportunidad de pelear con un gran peleador como es Beltrán. Para mí es un gran honor.
First of all, thank you for having me here and having the opportunity of fighting a great fighter like Ray Beltran. It's an honor for me.
Me he preparado como él se lo merece y más.
I have prepared like he deserves. He's and more than that.
Pues soy 130 libras, estoy subiendo a las 135 porque nadie me brindó la oportunidad de las 130 libras y vengo con muchísima hambre. Tengo un año preparándome, esperando una gran oportunidad y pues se me brindó esta y la voy a aprovechar bien.
I'm a 130 pounder. I'm coming up to 135 to challenge Ray. No one give me the opportunity in 130, and that's why I'm coming up to challenge a great fighter like Ray. And I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity.
Así es que no se pierdan la pelea del 5 que va a estar muy buena. Bendiciones.
Don't miss the fight. It's going to be a really good fight.
For you, Brian, talking with your team, I know it's been months that you've been kind of promised a fight and nothing came to fruition. You've been in the gym almost over a year now preparing to get a date. Any concern with you being overtrained, or has that just made you even more prepared for this tough fight you have on Saturday night?
¿Sientes que has entrenado, sobreentrenado para esta pelea, o piensas que eso te prepara más para esta pelea del sábado?
Bueno, he entrenado a conciencia. He llegado a un punto en mi carrera que me he dedicado solo a entrenar. Antes tenía que entrenar y tal vez hacer otra cosa, trabajar o cualquier otra cosa. Ahorita estoy solo entrenando. Estoy motivado, tengo mi familia conmigo, un país apoyándome. El sueño mío pues es estar en estas carteleras y no puedo desaprovechar la oportunidad, entonces tengo que venir en las mejores condiciones que se pueda.
I have trained very well for this fight. Before I was training and working on another job. Right now I'm just training. I have the support of my family, a whole country behind me, and these opportunities don't come very often, so I'm just going to take advantage of that.
You've only been stopped one time in your professional career, but Ray Beltran is known for his devastating power. How do you plan to counter his power in the fight, and how do you plan to either step up your technical game or think that you can outpunch him in the pocket?
Beltrán es conocido por tener un poder bastante fuerte.
Así es.
¿Cómo piensas tú que vas a contrarrestar eso? ¿Vas a subir tu nivel de técnica o cómo vas a hacer en la pelea?
Bueno, yo soy de los boxeadores que me acoplo rápido a cualquier peleador. Pues yo espero que no pegue tan duro como dicen. Pero si es así, vengo preparado. Yo sé que me he preparado con ciencia, sé que también aguanto y sé que también doy. Entonces va a ser muy buena pelea.
I hope that he doesn't hit as hard as people say, but I can also hit. I know I can take a punch, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Ray, we'll turn it over to you now. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
All right, you have an opportunity to fight on ESPN. We talked about this a little bit before, but there's a lot more on the line than just defending your titles, but the opportunity to become a U.S. citizen. How do you carry all that into the ring, and does that add any extra pressure for you, being that you're fighting for more than just your titles?
Well, first of all, I want to thank God, for one more opportunity to be here. I want to thank my promoter, Vasyl, for giving me the opportunity once again. No, I don't feel no pressure at all. I think when you feel pressure, when you have doubts, you know what I mean? And I don't have no doubts in my head. I'm a positive person, I believe in what I do. I believe in I'm confident based on my training, on my performance in the gym, and it's a lot of motivation for me because I'm not just fighting for my opportunity for the citizenship, but also for opportunity for a world title. It's a lot on the table for me, and it's a great honor for me to fight on a great champion, on the card, Also fight a really tough opponent, and a great fighter as Vasquez, and I'm just excited, to put a good show and have a competitive fight, and so all the boxing fans and all over the world. See who's Ray Beltran, also very excited to be on ESPN, like all days, and to give put the name of Mexico on the top.
Bob, let me ask you, it's kind of a unique situation that he's in, trying to become a U.S. citizen, and for those who don't know, if he achieves a certain status with his green card, an elite status, if you will, like becoming a world champion, then he is able to provide a citizenship for himself and his family. What do you think about that situation, Bob, the fact that it's weighing on his boxing career? Like, that's a factor.
You're asking the wrong person.
No, I asked her for a reason.
I voted for Hillary Clinton. I'm not.
That's why I asked. Classic. They're saying that it has a no Trump card, correct? All right, Ray, let's get back to the boxing. Your recent knockout power, everything that you've been able to accomplish kind of with your team, it seems like you guys have stepped up to another level. You're no longer just a Manny Pacquiao sparring partner, but you're a world championship caliber of fighter. What's the change that you've made with your team? Why so much recent success?
Well, I think the biggest trouble of a boxer is the personal life, you know what I mean? A lot of people, also social media, call me sparring partner mentality. It wasn't nothing to do with that, I was being raped, I was being a fighter, I'm always hungry, you know what I mean? I had a lot of personal problems in my personal life, and that reflects on my performance in the fights, you know what I mean? I learned how to deal with that and become stronger. I think the main the main thing that makes me better is that I'm hungry. I feel passionate. I love boxing. You know what I mean? But what really makes the difference, I make changes on my team. I have a great team. You know, I have a great strength conditioning coach. I have my boxing coaches. You know, my manager. Everybody's in communication. Everybody do their part. Everybody's communicating to get the best out of me. You know what I mean? And not just it's not just me. You know, people say, "Oh, Reverter's doing this, doing that," but it's not just me. It's a teamwork. You know, if my strength conditioning coach do the right thing, my boxing coaches, and everybody do what they're supposed to do, you know, all that reflects on my fights. But it's a teamwork. You know, so I think that's what's happening right now. You know what I mean? I don't really rely on my power. I mean, the knockouts just come by. They just come. And honestly, even in the gym, I never try to knock nobody out. I just go and box. I like to box. I love to box. And that's what I'm going to try to do in my fight, just box. If the knockout comes. If it doesn't, I'm just going to win. I mean, that's my goal, you know, to win and to look good, you know what I mean?
All right, thank you, Ray.
First of all, and it's a great honor to fight Brian Vasquez. I got nothing but respect for him. I know he comes to win. I can see in his face. And got nothing but respect for him. It's a great honor. And I know we're going to give a great fight on Saturday night.
Great, Beltran Vasquez opening up our card. If you're just tuning in, it's going down this Saturday from the Microsoft Theater in LA, August 5th on ESPN, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you tune in. Undercard streaming live on the ESPN app. And now to our main event. We'll start first with the challenger here to my left, Colombia's own, Miguel Marriaga. Miguel, we'll start with you. A lot of people say that Vasyl Lomachenko is not only a top pound-for-pound fighter, but arguably the top pound-for-pound fighter. How do you beat him?
Mucha gente dice que Vasyl Lomachenko es uno de los mejores peleadores en el mundo y posiblemente el mejor. ¿Cómo lo puedes vencer?
Bueno, primero que todo contento, ¿no? Una vez más por acá en los Estados Unidos, una gran oportunidad de pelear con Vasyl Lomachenko. Yo estoy seguro de que si me escogieron a mí fue por algo.
First of all, I'm very happy to be back, having a great opportunity here in the U.S. And I want to say that if they chose me as an opponent, it was for a reason.
What do you think that reason is?
¿Cuál piensas que es la razón?
Bueno, yo creo que he demostrado mi calidad, ¿no? También me vieron en la pelea anterior con Oscar Valdez y creo que ese es un motivo para que me dieran esta gran oportunidad con Vasyl.
I think I have shown what I can do as a fighter. My last opportunity that I had a great fight with Oscar Valdez, and that's one of the reasons that I think that I have this fight right now.
What would a victory mean, not only for you and your team, but for your country of Colombia?
¿Qué significaría para ti y para tu equipo y también para Colombia una victoria?
No, es lo que siempre nosotros esperamos. La verdad es que a veces las cosas no salen como queremos, pero bueno, lo importante es que se hace el trabajo, el equipo, mi persona siempre motivado y considerado uno de los mejores, por eso estamos acá. Nos preparamos bien para esta pelea y creo que va a ser una gran pelea el sábado.
That's what we always look for. No, things don't always go out as we expect, but I have a great team and we're prepared for win this Saturday.
And what would a win mean for him?
¿Qué significaría una victoria para ti y para tu país?
No significaría lo máximo, de verdad que ganarle a uno de los mejores no es fácil, claro que tampoco es imposible ganarle. Creo que nosotros nos preparamos así como le digo, pero Colombia me imagino estará esperando esta gran victoria, esta gran pelea que de verdad, así como le digo, va a ser difícil pero tampoco es imposible. Venimos preparados para eso y bueno, Colombia espera un triunfo, más que todo necesita ese título mundial.
It will be a great team for Colombia. You know, it's a tough fight, but it's not impossible to beat a great fighter like Lomachenko. And I know that Colombia is expecting that World Championship, and I'm trying to bring it to Colombia on Saturday.
Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you.
Lastly, but not least, you ready?
Yes, of course.
Of course he is. He's always ready. Vasyl, let's talk about the opportunity to headline a card on ESPN and fight here in LA. How happy are you to be able to showcase your skills to millions of people watching?
Can I say a couple words, first of all?
Absolutely.
First of all, I wanted to say thanks for President WBO, Paco. Thank you for this belt. It's very pleasure to me. Can you make me 3 more belts? IBF, WB, WBC. Thank you, my manager. Thank you, my promoter, Bob Aron. I wanted to say thanks all people who support me, all fans. Special thanks for my team, my father, Cis, my condition coach, my massagist, therapist, Sergey, Andrei, my psychologist. Thank you very much, guys. We are dream team. Thank you.
One team?
One dream, yeah. So, what about question?
Okay, thank you, sir. I told you all the questions already. You want to just answer them? All right. You mentioned that you'd watched Marriaga's fight against Walters and against Valdez. Why do you think that he wasn't able to get the win, and what do you think that he could have done differently? Yeah. What did you see from Marriaga in those 2 fights?
It's a very, very interesting fight. It's a very close fight. Marriaga is a true warrior. I think. Да, немного не хватило физической кондиции.
I think he just little bit was missing with his physical condition.
Many people have regarded you as a top pound-for-pound fighter. Some even say that you are the best fighter in the world. Do you feel that way, or what do you need to do to accomplish that?
I think I need a couple champions. I think it's maybe all champions 130. After this fight, then I fight this guy. I think I will be #1 pound for pound.
So would you like to stay at 130 and unify titles first, or would you like to go up to 135?
For me, it doesn't matter, because if we can't,
If we can get fights at the 130.
yeah, I move up 135.
What do you think about that, Bob? What do you see for Vasyl?
Right, I put him with anybody. Anthony Joshua just lost an opponent. Let's go with that. You're Ukrainian, you're Ukrainian. You can fight Joshua.
Step right in and sub the Ukrainian for the other. But Bob, in all honesty, it's not like guys are hauling you off the hook trying to fight Lomachenko. It's hard to get him a really good opponent.
We always get the best possible opponent. Remember, this is not the old days where he fights once or twice a year. We're going to fight regularly, and we're going to line up opponents, and they'll be really exciting opponents, and he will demonstrate by fighting these opponents that without question, he's the best fighter in the world.
Well, and to that, what does it say about Marriaga, who was in a tough fight with Walters, a tough fight with Valdez, and he's right back up here moving up to fight Vasyl?
Again, I got to do the props. The UFC has taught us that a loss is not a death sentence. If a guy loses a fight, but he loses heroically and he gives 100%, people want to see him fight again, and you can bring him back again. He lost the fight to Valdez, but he fought a very, very courageous fight, right? It was a close, and he fought a very courageous fight. So now, when you're looking for somebody to put in with Vasyl Lomachenko, you remember the performance that he had. Now, he didn't get the decision against Valdez, but everybody gave him the props for a great performance. And that's what we got to do more and more in boxing. We cannot write fighters off because they lose a fight, particularly if they lose courageously.
Well, and it's important
And
also...
you talk about losing courageously and winning. Look who's sitting down there next to Baca. Chiquito, Humberto Gonzalez, who Lost to Carl, one of the great flyweights of all time.
The best fighters in history all have losses, and it's important also to keep our fighters active instead of just waiting for money fights.
That's correct. That is correct. It's a new era you're seeing. You're seeing the start of what boxing should be and what boxing will become, and it's be like deja vu all over again, because that's what we had when I remember back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Guys fought, and if they fought well, you brought them back.
Now, please. Knockouts, thank you. And defenses.
Hey guys, they need to get down. I know, but you gotta get down.
Can I get it? Andy! Great. Andy, let's go. That way or that way?
Are you?
Can I borrow your mic? Okay. Back up.